I work with Typo3 since 2004. There was version 3.7. I'm member of the certification team of Typo3, and I'm author of the T3N magazine. So a few words about me. And now about my company Web Profil in Austria. I have 6 employees. We have made hundreds of Typo3 projects, so we are specialized on Typo3. We work to direct customers and also as subcontractor for other agencies. And we are Typo3 developers, give Typo3 support, and make Typo3 courses. And our customers are all over Europe. Okay, but now I want to tell you about our extension, Mask. In short, Mask is an extension to manage and extend page templates and content elements. So you can create your own content elements like a contact box with specific fields like a name field, an email field, a telephone field, and so on. And you can style the front end with Fluid. The agenda now is at first I tell about the idea, how comes the idea to this extension and the concept. Then I show you Mask in detail, how does it look like, how does it work. And then I show you some add-ons. There are other extensions available, additions to Mask. And at last I tell you about the future of Mask, our next steps. Okay, the idea. Okay, was born in 2013 at the TYPO3camp in Mallorca. There was a session called Couch Session. This is a session without presentation. It was with a discussion, and every participant told his story, his way, how to make templating. And everyone had another solution, like TemplaVoila, DCE, Flux, own extension, and so on. And no one was happy, or no one had the perfect solution. So I wrote a concept. What should such an extension or feature do? So the first step is no flexform. Flexform is a way to store content into one database field. It's merged into one XML text, and this text is stored into the one database field. And this is the good thing is you can extend new fields without changing the database, because all is in the XML. But you cannot access the data easy. You cannot use SQL to read all names of specific content elements. You cannot use TypoScript to load some content. It works only with the extension like TemplaVoila. Usability is very important. The extension should be usable for everyone, for Typo3 beginners or for experts, and without PHP knowledge. It's not for developers, it should be for integrators. And it should be close to the Typo3 core. We don't want new features. We want to use the existing stuff like TypoScript, TCA, Fluid, and so on. Not reinvent the wheel. For example, TemplaVoila has its own page module. And this is not good, because if Typo3 offers new feature in the next version in the page module, our extension wouldn't profit from them. So we want to use the existing page module and also other stuff. And future-proof. Perhaps you know the problems with TemplaVoila. It's not compatible at the moment with Typo3 7.6. So you have a problem when you want to upgrade to Typo3 7. And it should also be usable without further developing. In the worst case, if our company wouldn't exist next year, I don't hope so, then this is not a problem. You can use mask further. I tell you later why. Okay, after writing the concept, we started with a document with a manual how to create a new content element. So we don't have the mask extension at the beginning. In the document were sentences like, if you need a new content element, put this line of code in this document, in this file, and so on. There was PHP, TypoScript, SQL, and so on. But it works. And the next step was a prototype. It looks like this. This was 2013. It's more comfortable. You can drag and drop fields from here to the right part and fill out the field name and some settings. And in the left area, you can edit the main header data of the elements. So the name of the element and the short title, description, and so on. This prototype was very buggy. It was only in internal use. It was not public. And at this moment, we started crowdfunding. It was our idea to get money for developing. And yes, this was 2014. Our goal was 5,000 euros. It's not very much, but our idea was to get money and reach the goal. If we would set it to 10, 20,000 euros, we are worried about to reach this. So we took this amount. And we got it. We reached 6,257 euros. We had 1,000 logins on our demo environment with the prototype in 1 week after the T3N newsletter. It was very great. Yes, but it was our first experience with crowdfunding, and it takes a long time, so it was expensive. We made a video, we made Google AdWords and such stuff. We tried a lot of things. Yes, but we reached it, and the benefit was Mask is gone famous a little bit. Okay, now I show you Mask in detail. Okay, it's a wizard for managing content and page types. This means you have a new backend module, I'll show you later. And in this module, you can create content elements with easy drag and drop and specific fields and name them, make a lot of settings. And also page types. This means backend layouts in Typo3. And you can extend each backend layout with fields, like a new text field for the browser title, for example, or an image field for a slider, and so on. And you can, of course, reuse field. So you can create a content element with the header and the body text field, which exists in Typo3 already. Yes, it uses Typo3 core functions, stores content to database fields, not flexform. It supports multi-language and workspaces out of the box because Mask is close to the core. It generates only configuration which is necessary that it works, like TCA, TypoScript, and so on. In Mask, you can create repeating content with array, for example, for sliders, or a download box with multiple download links, and a download link can have a file reference, a name for the link, a select box for the target of the link, an icon, a select box with an icon chooser, and so on. It's all possible with Mask. And you can create multiple of these downloads in your content element. Mask 2 supports nested content, the version 2 of Mask. This means you can create a content element, for example, accordion or a tab element, and you can insert in an accordion another content element. For example, you have tabs, and inside of a tab, a power mail form, for example, or whatever you like. And it's compatible with grid elements. Mask don't offer this function because Mask uses only functions from the core. The core cannot handle grids in content elements for a 2-column element, for example. So you need grid elements if you like this feature. And it works together. The backend module looks like this. Here, after creation of 3 elements, a contact box, a gallery, and a teaser, for example. On the right side, you see icons. The first one, the HTML icon, is a fluid example for the created fields. So you only have to copy, paste them, and merge with your HTML template. The edit icon is to edit the element, to change some fields or settings. Then you can disable elements. Then an editor cannot create this element. This is for preparation or something. And of course, you can delete it. The edit mode looks like this. As in the prototype, you see on the top the metadata. You have a title, a key. The key is in the database needed. TYPO3's default elements are text, text image, text media, and so on. And here you can set your own key. It must be unique. You can add a description and choose a font awesome icon with a color. And this is shown in the preview. You see it on the next screen. If you create a content, you have the list of content elements, and you see an icon on the left side. This is a font awesome icon. It's also possible to save a PNG image with a screenshot, for example, whatever you want. Yes, and above you see the left column with the fields for creation, and the middle column, name, department, email, and so on, are the fields of this element. And if you click on this element fields on name, you see on the right part, which is empty here, the settings of the field. So this is the page module when you create a new content element. You see the 3 elements with the icon and the name and the description. And if you create an element in TYPO3, you see your fields of your definition of your content element. So it's possible to have more than one text fields or more than one rich text editors or image fields, whatever you need. Okay. Next slide. Yes, you can extend page templates. Page templates are backend layouts. In this project, we have 2 backend layouts, home and default. And you can edit them on the right side with the icon. There is no delete and anything because this is in your TYPO3 possible. Use the list module, edit your backend layouts with columns and so on. This is not part of Mask, this is core. And here you can extend it with your own fields in the page properties. These are the field types. They are possible with Mask. I tell you in short, string is a regular text field, 1 line. Integer is for numbers, float for floating numbers, for prices, and so on. You can make a link field, and you can also make a lot of settings. For example, in the link field, you can set the tabs in the link wizard for external link, internal, email, and so on. You can remove them or set them. You have a date field, a date time field with date picker in the backend. Text is multi-line text, a text area. The rich text editor, of course. You can add checkboxes or radio buttons, single or multiple. And a select box. This is a very interesting field. You can add a static select box. You can add some values like colors or whatever you need. And you can also pre-fill the select box dynamically. So you can set, you have a setting here in the wizard for an external table. And if you insert the table name from the news extension, the select box is filled with the news items in your project, for example. And the editor creates the element, sees the select box, choose a news item, and you can do in the front end what you like. Perhaps you want to show a special news item on the website's homepage. You can also set a folder, a path, and Typo3 loads the images from this folder, and you have an image select box for an icon chooser or whatever. There are a lot of possibilities. Yes, then there's a file field for images or downloads. You can set the file types if you allow only images or only zip, PDF, whatever. Then repeating content is the IRE, inline relation element. Content is nested content. And the last one is the tab. It's a divider. You can, if you have an element with a lot of fields, you can divide it into tabs for the editor, as in the backend for the editor. So it's easier to use. This is then the backend view. After creating a mask element, you have also the possibility to style this backend preview with fluid. So the easiest way is to copy it from the front end to the backend and remove some diff or styles from the front end and show the images in a smaller variant as in the front end, for example. So it's your way what you want to do here. Yes, you can also set user permissions. This is an edited user group. You see the mask fields, of course, the element itself. And you can say this editor group can edit the telephone number and another one not, for example. It's core, like in the regular fields of Typo3, header, body text, and so on. Okay, now let's talk about add-ons. We have built a TemplaVoila converter. Who of you has running projects with TemplaVoila at the moment? Okay. We have a solution for you if you want to upgrade or get rid of it. We did it because TemplaVoila is one of the most downloaded extensions in the Typo3 repository. 370,000 downloads. I'm not really sure if the composer downloads are included. I don't know. Yes, at the day, TemplaVoila is downloaded 33 times now, this time, actually. And it's actually the most downloaded templating extension. It's much more than Mask, DCA, and all others. Yes, but there is no support for Typo3 7.6. Yes, and we have a goal. We want to earn money for mask development. After crowdfunding, we had only €100 sponsoring in the last 2 years. This is not very much, and we cannot offer all the time to develop the features that we like in the time that we like. So our idea was the converter. If you want to convert a project, write an email to me and let's talk about the price. We prefer €390. If it is too expensive, a small project or a non-profit website, then we can talk about the price. Yes, how does it work? The converter converts all TemplaVoila content elements to Typo3 or mask content elements. It converts also the fields, of course, from the flexform fields to TCA fields. All TemplaVoila fields get a new database field. Of course, is needed from flexform to TCA. Then we're converting the entire content. So we extract them from the XML to database. So you can use the content also with other CMS or whatever you need. You can export it with SQL statements and so on. It's stored in the database. Then we convert all TemplaVoila page templates to backend layouts, of course with the fields, if extended. We made an extra backend layout if you have multiple template objects in TemplaVoila. Of course, languages are taken into account. There are a lot of possible settings in TemplaVoila, and we respect them all. And we convert the files from TemplaVoila, which are stored not with file, FAL, to file. Yes, and so we convert them. Then we set the backend layouts in the pages table so that the correct backend layout is set for, as before, the TemplaVoila layout. We respect content columns to nested content. This means in TemplaVoila you can make something like grid elements does. And this is nested content. We convert sections and containers to IRE. We convert references in TemplaVoila to references of TYPO3. We generate a mask JSON, so you can edit your content elements and make more settings comfortable in the mask module. We respect the not referenced elements. We set them to a own column with number 9999. So if you extend your backend layout with this column with number 9909, you see the not referenced element from TemplaVoila and can drag drop them to your project. Yes, and last we respect local XML. This is a field where you can overwrite the XML by hand. And also, if you decided to store the configuration in the file system, this is also possible to convert. So we respect all features of TemplaVoila, and you have it working in TYPO3 7.6 or 8, of course. I missed the slide. Yes, mask export is another add-on. It's written from Nicole Cordes. With this extension, it's possible to export the mask configuration into an extension with only the configuration, no program code. So you have the benefit. This is you can upgrade TYPO3 in future without mask. You can remove mask. You can deinstall it in the extension manager, and you can change the configuration by hand. If you're a developer and like TCA and so on, you can use mask like a Kickstarter or extension builder, for example, to do the first stuff, and then you manage your code by hand. Yes, this is possible because mask use only TYPO3 core functions. Yes, deinstall mask and mask export in your live environment. You can also have a staging server with the mask module and without mask module on your live server. So you have less extensions, is better for maintenance. Yes, and developers can now adapt TCA by hand and use a versioning system. This is also often wanted. Okay, the future of mask. These are our ideas or feature requests from the community. We want to integrate fluid-styled content. Mask works with CSS-styled content and fluid-styled content, but we can do a lot of things better than now. Because Mask is 2 years old, there was no fluid-styled content, and so we want to use data handler and so on. Then we want to make translatable labels in the backend for the editors. If you have a big project with German editors and English and Hungarian, whatever, at the moment you have only one field in the mask module in the backend wizard for the labels. You can insert it only in one language. There's a small trick at the moment. You can enter LLL double point and a path to a XLF file. This works, but is not comfortable. So we want a better solution. We want to add display conditions. This is a TCA feature. Then it's possible to make different subtypes in an repeating content. So if you have a download box and you want to have links with a link field and a target select box, for example, but you want also a download sub-element with a file field and a preview icon and a checkbox to show the file size or not, for example, then it's not possible at the moment. And in future, you have a select box with display condition, you choose link or download, and then you see the specific fields. Then we want to allow the content elements on specific columns, like grid element does. You can say, I want to allow the contact box in the right column of my website and the text element in the main column, for example. Yes, a small thing is sorting of content elements in the new content element wizard. This is at the moment A to Z, alphabetical. Then, yes, we have to extend the manual. This is very basic at the moment. Duplicate content elements was a feature request. Some users create a content element and need it nearly the same again. And at the moment, you have to build it from begin on with the dragging the fields. And it would be nice to have a duplicate button, copy, and then change the second one. Import-export content elements is also a feature request that you can say, I have project 1 with these elements and I want to reuse the slider element in my next project. Then there should be a button to export this configuration and import in the other project. In TYPO3.7 you can create backend layouts in page tiers config. You can define them there instead of records. And they are not respected at the moment from mask. This was also a feature request. Then we want to make a distribution package. So after installing TYPO3, a fresh installation, then you can set up a distribution package, the Bootstrap package, I think you know it, and we want also to make a mask distribution. And another idea is to extend file with fields. It's not a very big effort for us because it's ready for content and pages, and it's at least copy for file. And you can make your own fields to file metadata if needed. Okay. The last screens. You can help us if you like. You can support us or a feature. You can share mask on social networks or to make it famous. You can write a blog if you have one or make videos or something and tell your friends, your team about mask. We want to have more downloads than TemplaVoila is our goal. And the last screen, I have some links for you. We have a Facebook page. We publish also on Twitter. We publish there our news if there's a new version or better manual, or we have some videos where you see how mask works. You find mask on Forge for ticket issue tracker. So if you find a bug, please report it on Forge. Don't write an email to us. Only if you don't know what Forge is, then you can write an email. And perhaps you find your problem on Forge. If another one has reported it, then you don't have to write an email. You find the source code on GitHub. If you are a developer and interested, you can make a pull request and add some features if you like. But please speak to us before you do it. And we have a YouTube channel, but not with a good URL. So search for TYPO3 mask and you find our videos. Okay, then.
Okay, thank you, Gernot.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing us this interesting extension. Are there any ideas, questions, thoughts on that? Yeah, just a moment, please.
Hello, so my name is Timo. Thank you very much. I have two questions. First of all, I want to know how does it work in a version control context? So can we put all the configuration in a version control? And second, you promised to tell us what happened if maybe the mask extension is not supported anymore. Yeah, how we maybe can continue our projects.
Mm-hmm. The first is versioning. Mask stores its configuration in one file. It's named mask.json, and it's located in the folder TYPO3conf. And the bad thing is you have to download it every time you change something in the backend, in the mask module. and then you can check it in on GitHub or what you ever use. So this is possible with this one file. And there's another way. This answers your second question. If you want to use your project without mask, you can use mask export. Then you can remove the mask extension and also mask export extension. You have only one new extension with your configuration, and it's stored in the file system all together: TCA, TypoScript, SQL, like an extension, and Xtables SQL. And you can versioning like every other extension.
Sorry.
So just to understand, so it works like a compiler which transform it in an own extension, which will then just run it in its own context.
Yes, mask do it on the fly. If mask is installed, you wouldn't find an Xtables SQL. It's injected on the fly, every page generation and every click on the backend. And it's respected in install tool, database compare, and so on. It's really integrated. SQL, for example. And mask export stores this on the fly data into files. This is the only thing what export does.
But if I understood you well, yeah, if you do this export, you can deinstall the mask extension,
yes.
And then you have your own extension which you can just version control, and it will run, yeah, and you do not need this mask anymore, yeah.
Yes.
So you can.
You have only one thing. You cannot use mask anymore in this project. You can, but it would overwrite your export every time.
So it means if you want to have change something, you have to do an export again somehow.
Yes, and you have to merge it with your changes by hand if you did on the TCA files or something.
So it's a little bit like the extension builder. So
yes. The workflow should be decide if you want to use mask forever, or as long as you like, also on the live website. Or if you are a developer, then you can say, okay, I use mask as wizard, as extension Kickstarter or content Kickstarter, and then store it to the file system and do all the other stuff by hand as in your extensions. You can extend TCA by hand. It's not a problem for a developer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, further questions? I see two more.
Thank you for developing this extension. I use it a lot. I wanted to ask if it is possible, I mean, not if it's possible, but the performance about, you said on the fly, and if I open the website on the front end, and does it go inside the mask extension every time, checks, you need to display this content element, it has this fields, or do you cache it?
We do nothing, and you don't see a difference when you use mask. We had one issue in the past. The backend was slow when you have a lot of content elements, and this is fixed.
Okay.
So there are no problems.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to ask, you mentioned nested content elements. Can you create those also with mask, not only when you export TemplaVoila? And how did they look in the backend in the preview when they are nested?
I have no screenshot. Yes, it works. It looks like, you know, the Irre in the backend, in the list module of extensions. I don't have an example at the moment. It's this. There's a plus button, and you can make a lot of settings. You can define the name of the button to create new sub-elements and collapse them or such stuff.
Yeah, and in the preview, when you look at the page, not when you're editing.
Okay, there is at the moment no possibility. The only one is you can make a line, there are 10 sub-elements or something. You can count them. That's it at the moment. The best thing would be that the core would make a grid view in the page module. Then it worked as grid elements or something. Then you can drag drop also in the page module. At the moment, they are fixed in the content element. The sub-elements are fixed in the content, in the parent content element. You cannot move them to another column or content element. This is core. This is not mask. A missing core feature.
All right. Anybody else? No? Okay. So thank you, Gernot, for answering our questions here.
Thank you too.
Next up is lunch break. It will end at 12:30, so you have 45 minutes, around 45 minutes for it. Please, again, be reminded of rating the session by giving the cards to our wonderful helping hand at the door. Thank you.